Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome back to a brand new video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. I am staying up extra late just so I can get these out for you guys. I didn't want you guys to have to do 2 weeks of having no story Saturday, so I hope you guys enjoy this double feature that will be happening today. I will get this second video out in about an hour. But yes, guys, this is the story of when I got into a car accident. Now, this did actually happen last Friday, so Friday the 2nd of December. Now, it seemed to be a pretty normal day, and Friday is typically, Friday is the day I go to my PE class. I actually go to my PE class with Fallen Crackers. He's my friend, and he's sort of my co-host. He just doesn't make videos with me anymore, so rip. Anyway, so it was snowing, and it was really, really cold that day, and I live in Colorado, so when it snows, it usually snows quite a bit. So I was driving to school, and it's really no big deal because I've lived in Colorado all my life. I'm pretty used to snow. So I was, just going to school. I was driving my Chrysler Concorde, and it was going pretty smoothly so far. I was really being cautious and very careful. I was keeping my distance from each car in front of me. I left my house extra early so I could get there on time and be ready for anything that would happen. And I was just really focused on driving. So it was actually the first time I had driven in snow since I got my license. So I had never driven in snow by myself before until Friday, 2nd of December. So that was kind of like, oh, dang, it's kind of like a new responsibility that I have to deal with. So I it was my first time driving. I was kind of a little bit under pressure, but whatever. I was like, okay, it's just snow, and I've lived in Colorado all my life. I've lived in Colorado for 17 years. I can do this. So I was cruising along a stretch of road about 13 miles long or so, and as you guys may know, I drive on this road a whole lot, about 7 times a week. So I know this road very well and know what it can possibly do to me. I just wasn't ready for what was about to happen. So, I was driving, I was just chilling, literally chilling, because it was a very cold day and my heat had not kicked in completely yet. And so I was, chilling, and I noticed that there was these swirling snow flurries on the road. And whenever I see these, I'm kind of like, that's not a good sign, because it's really windy and it's still really cold. So I noticed that there was a red light ahead, and ahead of me was a line of cars that had all stopped. Now, one of these cars was the one that was actually in front of me, and they were slowing down, and it was a white van with a family in it. And this is basically when it all went completely wrong. So just imagine me, I was driving about 50 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. And this was the point when I braked because I didn't want to hit the van. So this white van was coming closer and closer, and as I started to brake, my ABS brake, which is anti-skid braking system, which prevents brakes from locking and it avoids skidding, as I started to brake, that kicked in. And this was actually what seemed to screw me over at this point. So at this point, I was skidding and my brakes were not slowing me down. And to make everything worse, I then hit a patch of black ice. Now, black ice is just a translucent ice that is black from the pavement that is basically showing underneath. So it's see-through ice that it's still super slippery, but it's basically invisible and you can't see it because it blends in with the street. So I hit this patch of black ice, and at this point, I'm at the mercy of whatever. So I'm like, okay, I have a choice now. I can either hit and potentially hurt the family in front of me in the white van, or I can try to slow down and kind of pull off into the emergency shoulder lane. So I chose not to hit the white van, and I didn't want to hurt anyone, and I knew that if I did hit someone, insurance would go very, very high, and it would be much more of a complicated process. So I decided to go and hit the emergency shoulder lane. Now, as I went onto the shoulder lane, this was covered in ice and snow because they don't plow the shoulders, they only plow the streets. So I basically hit this shoulder going about 40 miles per hour, and this ice and snow does not agree with me. And this is not a very good thing for me because I hit that shoulder and I just lose control. I start fishtailing and then I end up spinning. I had no traction whatsoever. I spin, and about 40 miles per hour or so, I collide with a light pole that bashes the side of my car extremely bad. And after hitting the light pole, which had pretty much no damage, the light didn't even take any damage, my car actually did fall into a ditch. Now, just to show you guys the kind of devastation of this accident, this is a picture of my car that happened right after the accident. We had to take pictures just for insurance purposes later. But needless to say, I was really shaken. And as soon as I got into the ditch, I was my first thought was I just screwed over my family's car and that I would no longer have a car. I really wasn't concerned about my current physical state, but I was more concerned about what I was going to do because it was my family's car. It was my parents' car, and we got it from my grandparents. And I was just kind of well, this is not good. I don't have a car now. And I'm kind of freaking out about that. I'm not even freaking out that I almost died and that later, well, I'll tell you guys later. Because I was actually alive. I wasn't dead and I wasn't hurt. Everything flew in the car, but I wasn't hurt. And I'm so very thankful for that. And obviously, yes, you guys know I'm a Christian, but I wholeheartedly believe that God did save my life on that day. I was, as you guys can see in the picture, I was inches away. I'll show that picture again. I'll show a little red arrow of where I was compared to the place where it hit me. And I was definitely not alone there, and definitely God did help me out with this. And regardless of what you guys believe, I know this to be a true fact in my life, and so that is what I believe in. But anyway, so after this, I did climb out of the door, and I basically worked my way out and met up with about 2 ladies that had pulled over to help me. Now, these 2 ladies actually did call the police and then gave me their number for insurance and witness purposes. And so I then wait about 3 minutes or so until I see a cop car show up. Now, I kind of just sit there and accept my fate because I see this cop car and I'm like, well, I'm pretty much screwed because the cop is not going to like the fact that I just crashed into a light pole and am now at the bottom of a ditch. Now, he was actually really nice. I actually sat in the back of his police car for about 45 minutes filling out paperwork and just getting warm. And then I called my mom. Now, my mom was actually at work at the time, so she had to get off early to come help me. And she eventually arrived, and the policeman asked if I had anything that I needed to take out of my car. So for those of you that don't know, I carry a pretty big knife in my car for self-defense and for situations like this where I need to use my knife to get either rescue myself or rescue someone else. I carry a really huge knife in my car. Now, this is a picture of a size comparison to my hand, and I'm a pretty big dude. I'm 6'3", so my hands are pretty big. So I quickly go and grab my knife. I don't really want to know what the cop's reaction would be if he came in and searched my car and saw that there was a huge knife. And I also didn't want the people that were towing my car to also get like my knife because it's pretty expensive. It's pretty cool and really expensive, so I didn't want anyone to grab it. So I go and I quickly grab my knife, and I notice another cop driving up. And I'm like, okay, all right, I got to get this out. So the sheath of my knife was actually fused to the seat by the door. So I took my knife out and basically cut the sheath loose, and then I put it in my backpack and then returned to the back of the police car. So yes, I was in the back of a police car with like an 8-inch dagger in my backpack, but yeah, whatever. As long as I wasn't going to harm them, which obviously I wouldn't, I'm okay. So finally my mom shows up, and I put all my stuff in her van, and eventually the tow truck gets there, and at this point, we overhear the cop saying that the car is in such a weird position that they actually have to shut down the entire road to get out. Now, this is a really long road. Now, in total, this is probably a road that lasts probably like 25, 30 miles. And they closed this entire road because of me. It was horrible. This road is used by thousands and thousands and thousands of cars every hour, and they stopped it. So I actually took this picture as we were driving on the opposite side of the car, and I do admit I kind of have this sickly pride in seeing that I was the reason that I caused this, but I was also really sorry. So don't get the impression that I was happy about this, because I wasn't, but it's also kind of weird to see that one person can prevent an entire street that thousands of people use from being used. So I was like, okay, neat. So eventually I get home and I basically fall into my bed and I curl up in a ball and fall asleep. And I wake up and the only pain I felt was a stiffness in my back. I mean, guys, you see this picture of my car, you see everything that possibly could have gone wrong. You see that it was inches away from my head and I was wearing my seatbelt and everything. You see this, and the only pain I have is a little bit of back pain. Now, once again, guys, I'm all for God on this side, guys. I really can't. I'm just happy to be alive. I'll just say that. So after this, I wake up and I am then going to basketball practice. Yes, I'm going to basketball practice hours after I just got into a potentially life-threatening car accident. It may not have been the wisest thing, but I just took some ibuprofen to kill the pain and went and started playing basketball. And then I got roasted by my teammates upon arriving that I was hitting a stationary object, and I know they're just messing with me, but I'm kind of like, fam, I almost died and you're roasting me. So then fast forward a few days later, I end up actually getting a new car. It was really quick. We got a new car really quick. It was an older couple that was selling it. The guy actually did die, so they needed to sell the car. And I mean, it's not like a cool car, but the main thing is that it has a working sound system, and my old car didn't, and I can finally play music, and it's kind of a great thing. Now, it's actually a burgundy red 1995 Toyota Camry with a gold trim, so it's actually a really nice car, and it runs like fantastic. I also realized that my luck is not that great, because as I was driving home from school, I'm stopping at a red light, and I quickly glance in my rearview mirror, and what do I see in my rearview mirror? I see a couple making out at a red light. Like, legit, they're completely in it. They are making out at a red light, and I honestly cannot believe my eyes, because how can you be this stupid? Seriously, you can wait to kiss. You don't have to make out at a red light. Oh my gosh, you guys don't have to be this stupid. The dude then doesn't realize it because he's, so in the act. He doesn't realize it, but he takes his foot off the brake. Now, you guys can see where this is going, but his car slowly starts to come towards my car, and I can't do anything about it because it's either... I can't do anything about it because there's someone else in front of me, and I can't honk or else I'll scare the person in front of me, but I also can't move because there's someone in front of me. So I basically let this SUV hit me. Yes, hitting my brand new one-day-old car. And they bump into me, and the girl just looks at him in disgust, and then they drive away as quick as they possibly can so they don't have to deal with it. So, good job on their part, because they don't have to deal with it. Guys, just a little bit of common sense is if you happen to ever rear-end someone, just be a good person and go and follow up with them and make sure that everything's okay, unlike these people that just drove away. So, yes, I got my brand new one-day-old car rear-ended for the first time as soon as I drive it. Man, just such a flawless opportunity, guys. It's been a great week. But yeah, guys, that is the story of my nice and wonderful, almost life-threatening car accident and the wonderful follow-up to that. And yeah, guys, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I'll see you guys in about an hour for a shorter Story Saturday double feature, but it should be still pretty good. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up, guys. Leave it a thumbs up. It may not be much, but it actually does encourage me a whole lot to know if I even continue this series or not. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you made it this far, thank you so much, and please subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in a brand new video. Bye, guys.